Linda's life has been full of many high and low experiences, and she has trusted and remained faithful with God through them. Even though she has been through many struggles, she is still and will always be one of the best grandmas in the world. My name is Dionne, and today I'll be telling you about the life of my grandma, Linda Jansma. Linda Lee Lodi was born August 8, 1947, in a farmhouse. She only weighed 5 pounds. Her parents' names were Dick and Arlene, and her older brother was Richard. As a small child, she moved to a beautiful farm about 3 miles from Sheldon, Iowa. Linda constantly had to do chores on the farm, and her least favorite chore was collecting eggs. She says she hated it, especially because of a naughty rooster. The rooster would chase her around the pen, and her mother would run out of the farmhouse and start swatting the rooster with a broom. Linda always was scared to walk outside because she knew the wicked rooster would pop out and start attacking. One time, Linda decided it would be a fun idea to hop onto a stranger's plane. A man by an unused airport once asked Linda and Richard if they wanted to go on a ride in his plane. This man was a stranger to them, but Linda and Richard happened to say, "Sure." They hopped on the plane without their mother knowing. Linda went to her mother after the ride and asked, "Did you see us up in the sky?" Linda attended Township Floyd No. 2, which is a country school. All country schools later closed, so she transferred to Sheldon Public School in the 5th grade. She recalls being so afraid to step onto the bright yellow school bus. Mrs. Smith was one of her favorite teachers because she let her brush her hair whenever she was reading a story. While growing up, she loved to ride a motorcycle and hang out with cousins. She also loved going to the movies, which were only 50 cents at the time. A very exciting time in her childhood was when her family bought their first television and phone. Linda loved watching shows such as Lassie and I Love Lucy on the television. Linda graduated from Sheldon High School in 1965. A week after graduation, she started her first job at Citizen State Bank in Sheldon. She sorted all the checks and deposits and posted them on the correct statement. Back then, there were no account numbers, so the work took much longer than compared to today. She loved her job and recalls making a whole $1.35 an hour. One day, Linda went to the movies with her cousin and met her future husband, Linda Jansma. They dated for 3 months, but he later was drafted to serve in the U.S. Army and went to Germany to become a truck driver. Linda always wrote him letters, and one day, he came back home. The two got married January 10, 1969. When they were first married, they lived on a farm near Hull, Iowa. Tunis and Linda later had their first child, Douglas Lorne. After Doug, they welcomed Sherry, but she unfortunately passed away 3 days after birth. Linda was very sad about losing her daughter. After Sherry, Linda gave birth to Julie, but she also unfortunately passed away 3 days later, just like Sherry had. Linda had lost 2 daughters in a short period of time, which was very difficult for the family. Linda's family moved to a farm near Dune, Iowa. Dale was soon born after they moved, and then Wade was born about a year and a half later. The family moved to the town of Dune together. The 3 brothers grew up having a very fun and busy life, and they would always be away from home to play with friends at the ballpark. Linda was always busy taking care of her sons, along with the neighbor boys. She says that one of her best accomplishments in life was raising 3 boys and giving them the best opportunity to be happy. Doug graduated from Central Lyon High School in Rock Rapids, Iowa, in 1987 and joined the Marines. The family moved to Rock Rapids around 1992. Linda wanted to move to Rocky because she wanted to be closer to school and church activities. Dale graduated in 1993 and Wade graduated in 1995. Wade later joined the Army as a fuel truck driver. It was difficult for Linda because 2 of her sons were both in the military during war times. She was always worried about the situation they were in and wanted them to be safe. Luckily, both boys returned home safely after serving. On May 3, 2017, Linda picked up her phone and heard an urgent phone call. Tunis had been found unconscious on the side of the road in his truck. Linda talked to Dale and they drove down late at night to the hospital Tunis was at. Tunis later passed away. This was one of Linda's worst times in her life. It was a great shock and was a very difficult time to get through. His passing away didn't just bring Linda closer to family, it brought her closer to God. A few minutes before he passed, he left a voicemail. In that voicemail, he told the grandkids to look outside because there was a beautiful rainbow. On the day of the funeral, many rainbows showed up around Iowa. God gave many signs to help cheer up Linda's family. He prided himself in his bright red truck, and that truck was driven down the street on the day of his funeral. Linda had grown closer to God and family throughout the hardship that she faced. Today, Linda enjoys walking her son's dogs, or what we call grand dogs, and she also enjoys seeing family. One thing you may be surprised to hear about her is that she's a pro at badminton. In the summertime, she plays badminton with her grandkids, including me. One of her favorite possessions is her bright yellow car. If someone sees a vibrant yellow car driving around in Rock Rapids, Iowa, they would say, "That's Linda." She drives her yellow car almost every day to Dale's house to pick up her grand dog, Royal. Her life has been filled with many happy and sad times, but she has trusted God throughout all her struggles. When God made her, He decided to give her a big heart with lots of love to give.